Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. You might remember that I often say there's no smoke without a fire. And yesterday I covered an article that was very, very surprising because of the statements made by an Zelensky ex-aide. So an advisor of Zelensky, former, he made some statements like Zelensky could be replaced because of the bad performance on the job. So I said, what the hell? Something like this was not ever published or mentioned by anybody. And now I have another article that I think confirms more that there's something going on in Ukraine, and that's not good. And that is something I've been saying more than a year ago, maybe in about August or July last year, and I was talking about something could happen in Ukraine, a little civil war, a little, how they call it here, little spontaneous, not necessary protest, but the military will conduct an insurrection. There will be a civil war, the Russians will just wait, and then they will come and take over. So let me show you what video I made yesterday. And this is the title: Zelensky's replacement, failed counteroffensive, corruption, incompetence. Ex-Zelensky aide calls for removal, blah, 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 blah. So this is the video I made yesterday. And the article I'm covering today is this. Ukrainska Pravda: number of Ukrainians who believe in conflict within authorities and West's fatigue increases. So that tells me there is some fire because we can see the smoke. Then they're talking about it. And why do you think you have these guys right here pictured? Because these guys were not friends from the very beginning. I mean, not very beginning. Maybe after the first 2 months, they were not. Why? Because the guy right here on top, right there, he's actually on the paper in charge. Not that guy, not the weasel over there. This guy. You know why? Because this guy has the weapons. That guy has the words, and that's it. The guys around him have the weapons. Who are those guys controlling the weapons? I'm assuming it's Al Capone, not this guy. The guys protecting that guy from being destroyed by this guy are not these guys' people. If those are these guys' people, that means that guy over there, he is the servant of this guy. Why? Because this guy can eliminate that guy at any moment. This guy cannot eliminate this guy at any moment unless this guy is just a facade, a clown put in front of the Ukrainian people, telling them, hey, my friends, you have a Ukrainian general. Finally, one Ukrainian guy among the big pool of Ukrainians, like Zelensky, Zhmyhal, Yermak, Reznikov, all these Ukrainians. So that was just the facade. Remember this freaking weasel right here, that guy over there, he was against Kiev's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, the boxer, bam, 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 remember? And he calmed Klitschko down. You don't hear about Klitschko anymore, do you? Do you? Last time when I heard about him was maybe about 2 weeks ago, something, and then nothing for about a month and a half ago, nothing. You can say, why would they say anything about him? Yeah, why? Because at the beginning of this war, maybe in the first 3 months, I think it was May or June, this guy right here, Zaluzhny, all right, Zaluzhny said, he was interviewed and asked a question in an interview, and he said, he gave an honest answer. He said, I need about, I think he said 400 tanks in order to conduct a counteroffensive. I need about 400 to 500. That means he didn't have those tanks. That was the implication of that answer. And then Zelensky told him and others, hey, shut the fuck up. Don't talk about these kind of things. We are promoting a product. People have to buy it. So then Zaluzhny said, you know what? I'm not going to make any more interviews. I just answered the question. I'm just going to be busy winning the war or something like this. So that means, yes, sir, I fuck you and you guys. I'm just going to take care of my stuff here and defend Ukraine. So that told me who's in charge and whose PR is more strong and what images were promoted, not Zaluzhny. So I suspected for some time that Zaluzhny is and will probably either disappear or be arrested for cooperating with the Russians, or he's going to be, put on the, you just retire because you're going to put someone else because you're too dangerous, or maybe he's under surveillance, and as the retired colonel of the U.S. Army, Douglas McGregor said, maybe he's doing shit at gunpoint. That's not impossible. I've seen this in history. So remember, believe in conflict within authorities. Something like this was not discussed before. Just The number of Ukrainians who believe in pro-Russian narratives, that's pro-Russian to observe the reality. So if I say that guy kicked the other guy in the face and he's a Ukrainian, I'm not supposed to say that, because what, they would play in the Russian representation of reality? But if that's reality that I see, what am I supposed to do? So again, believe in pro-Russian narrative about the conflict between the political and military leadership. I think it is there. That the West is tired of helping Ukraine, and the Ukrainian government is ready to make concessions to Russia has increased over the past year. Alright, survey. Results of the survey by the Kiev International Institute of Sociology conducted in September 29th to October 9th says this, quote, over the past year, the number of those who believe in the existence of serious, keyword serious, conflicts between the country's political leadership and the army command has increased from 14% to 32%, more than double. At the same time, the majority of the population of Ukraine, 54% in September 2022 and 71%. So it was 71% in September 22. Now 54% continue to adhere to the view that the political leadership and the military command act harmoniously as one team. So it dropped from 71% to 54%. Now remember, the news that we have here in the West, and we are allowed to hear about, are just given by these weasels, and probably taken most of them from the Ukrainians reporting. Now over there, I'm assuming they have some other pieces of information, like for instance in Romania. You can find out here about Romania certain things, but if you live in Romania, when I used to, it was a totally different story that you didn't hear here. You didn't hear here. This was a different representation. We knew over there who's who, what's what. So we knew, for instance, over there, for instance, let's say I'm an Ukrainian, I'm going to say, well, what are you talking about? Zelensky is this. Things that you here don't know about. But over there you know who Zelensky is, who his father is, who he worked for, what he's done, who his wife is, what his wife's family did. Hanky-panky that is not reported here. The same here. That's why is a 71 dropped to 54. And that's why 14 got to 32. Because those guys over there, they have local information. Anyway, details. Between September, let me go back to this guy. Between September 2022 and October 2023, so a year, there was a slight increase in those who believe in government can make unacceptable compromises from 5 to 12. So there was a slight increase in those who believe the government can make unacceptable compromises. So again, more than doubled the number, and probably these are kept down, okay, sociology, okay, so these probably are kept down, so they say, well, no compromises, and now from 5% jumped to 12 in 1 year, doubled. However, at the same time, the absolute majority of Ukrainians, 80%, continue to believe that the government will not make compromises unacceptable for Ukraine. There were 87% in September 2022, sociologists emphasize. Now again, it's a drop of so everything is like the whole society moves towards, we're not doing a good job, these guys are quarreling over there, something is bad, maybe we should talk, we're sick of it, come on, it's a year and a half, we want to have a normal life back again, how normal that was before. The share of those who believe that the West is getting tired of Ukraine, that is, support is weak, and that West wants Ukraine to make concessions to Russia, has also grown significantly, from 15% in September 2022 to 30%, so doubled in October 2023. So people who believe the West is getting tired of these guys got to 30% from 15%. Well, And put that together with, as I said, the video I made yesterday based on what that guy said, that Zelensky must go because corruption and all that. Put that together with the military, and as I mentioned it many times before, could be a civil war, and could be the military break in a few parts, and they probably say, you know what, that's it, we're not gonna get rid of our nation, Zelensky. You just go to London, New York, or Tel Aviv. Leave us alone with Yermak. Yermak is gonna end up probably at the World Bank or International Monetary Fund, I suspect. Have you heard anything about the former Ukrainian Minister of Defense, Mr. Reznikov, another little pig of the four in charge of the Ukrainian nation? Have you heard anything about that guy? And if not, why not? Remember, when you get fired because you didn't do something right. Now, if you could also be investigated, criminally investigated, for, fucking up something. Let's say in corruption. Let's say I receive certain, or under my watch, certain thing occurred and some people were affected. Financially, for instance, like in this case. I don't just lose my job. The legal system is going to take over and I get indicted, and then I fight in court allegations of corruption. Have you heard anything about Reznikov? He was just fired and probably is going to end up in London or, as I said, one of these three places. Why? Because that's where these guys always end up. As I said, London, New York, or not New York necessarily, United States, or maybe this is the way it is. It is London, Israel, and United States, the last one. London is the first one. So that tells you who is pushing and pulling. You don't want to send them too far away. Like, remember, you had Lenin. Lenin was in Switzerland when he was picked and sent to St. Petersburg, Russia, to take over a revolution, destroy another revolution. Because remember, Russia had its Russian revolution and then it had its Bolshevik revolution. The Bolshevik revolution nullified and took over the Russian revolution. Okay, so the Bolsheviks with Lenin, Trotsky, who came from New York. Mr. Bronstein, is that what his name? Bronstein was his name? Something like this. Bernstein, Bronstein, I think, something like that. Trotsky, yeah, okay. So Trotsky came from New York, right, from to St. Petersburg, trying to secure some money. All these guys, and then they took the Russians and they created the Soviet Union. They fucked you. Anyway, these guys. So now you got these guys are going to be probably, if they have time and Zaluzhny doesn't them before they go over there. He would not, because if he does that, then the Americans and the Brits will give up 100%. Anyway, here it is, my friends. I think we're getting near to an end of this garbage in Ukraine, and I hope that ends yesterday. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.